Aloha kakahiaka, everyone. Epule kako. Dear Heavenly Father, we bow before you this morning. Our hearts are full. Yesterday we experienced what it was to be in a place of devastation. But we also experienced the aloha you have shed upon this island and its people, the strength you are giving them, and the hope for a greater future. Heavenly Father, we want to be part of that process. We don't have the answers, but we have come as OHA trustees to serve, to listen, to honor, and then to do what we can do, empowered by you. We ask for your blessing upon this beautiful island and all its people. We ask for you to take care of all their needs. We pray these things in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Aloha kakahiaka, everyone. I would like to call today's meeting to order. Let the record reflect that today is Wednesday, August 7, and it is 9:10 a.m. Board Secretary, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Ahuna.
Eu.
Trustee Akaka. Trustee Akina.
Aloha mai kako.
Trustee Alapa.
Present.
Trustee Galuteria.
Eu.
Trustee Souza.
Eu.
Trustee Trask is excused. Trustee Waihe'e.
Present.
And Chair Hulu Lindsay.
Present.
We have 8 trustees. We have quorum.
Thank you. Aloha, everyone, and welcome. Everyone, welcome. First up on our agenda, our approval of minutes. Lehua, do we have anyone signed up to speak on this agenda item?
No one is signed up to speak on this item.
I'll entertain a motion of approval.
So move. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Ahuna.
Aye.
Trustee Akaka. Aye. Trustee Akina.
Aye.
Trustee Alapa.
Aye.
Trustee Galuteria.
Aye.
Trustee Souza.
Aye.
Trustee Trask is excused. Trustee Waihe'e.
Yes.
Chair Hulu Lindsay.
Yes.
We have 8 yes votes.
Thank you. Next on our agenda is status of OHA activities. Kapohana, could you please repeat our status as you repeated last night?
Aloha kakahiaka kako. Mahalo, Chair, Trustees. Quick overview, OHA funding activities for Maui. We have 29 active grantees providing services on Maui at a total of $5.6 million being dispersed. 13 of those grants are exclusive to Maui at $1.2 million dispersed. We also have 51 active Native Hawaiian revolving loan funds and consumer microloans, totaling around $1.6 million dispersed. 4 months ago, we launched the Kanaho Relief Grant Funds for beneficiaries affected by the Lahaina and Kula fires. To date, we have dispersed 249 payments totaling $1.4 million. And as noted by trustees last night, there is still more work to be done. I'm also pleased to announce that the Office of Hawaiian Affairs will be releasing today the first of 5 digitized historic Lahaina collections on our Papakilo database. The digitized collections are the result of a collaborative partnership with the Lahaina Restoration Foundation. And I just want to point out that this work started in 2023 prior to the devastation that occurred in Lahaina. And by the grace of Keokua, we had the source documents and have over the last year been digitizing them. So we are very excited that although 90% of the Lahaina Restoration Foundation source materials were destroyed in the fire, they will continue to live on in the Papakilo database. The first of the 5 collections will go live today in remembrance of the 1-year anniversary of the wildfires. The Historic Lahaina Photography Collection consists of 215 historic photos of places and people in the Lahaina area, ranging from 1900 to 1948. The photos range from a picture of the renowned Lahaina banyan tree in 1908 to a photo of the 1943 Lahaina Memorial Day Parade. The release of the Historic Lahaina Photography Collection will be followed by the Baldwin Photography Collection with 162 records, followed then by the Baldwin Letter Collection of 167 records, the Pioneer Mill Housing Maps Collection with 75 records, and the Pioneer Mill Housing Records Collection with about 880 records. All the remaining collections are slated to be released later this month. The purpose of the Papakilo database is to serve as a vaihona, a repository of the life experiences and mana'o of our kupuna for the purpose of educating and guiding future generations. The collections that were preserved by the Lahaina Restoration Foundation in partnership with the Office of Hawaiian Affairs will be one of the many foundational pieces that will support Lahaina's residents as they rebuild and redefine their future. To access the Papakilo database, please go to www.oha.org/resources. Mahalo.
Thank you, Stacy. Moving on to community concerns. We'd like to hear from Pomaikai Kania Pio Crozier. Pomaikai, before you begin your presentation, I just want to say that our trip on your helicopters to Pu'ukukui a few years back has been a wonderful memory that the trustees have had. So, mahalo nui.
Mahalo. Mahalo Chair Hulu, ya oko na luna. Nui ku'u aloha. Ya oko pakahia pau. Mamake wa haawi ki aloha mamua ko hoa kaka ana kia kakaiaka. No ko oko manawa, no ko oko ike, no ko oko aloha hele mai I Maui nei. Na leila, ka pai nā lule hiki he o moa kaka maka o leila pelakania. Wanted to give all my aloha to you, Chair, and to all the trustees and staff who take the time to come visit us on Maui. Our last time I saw many of you, we were up at Pu'ukukui, and we tried several times. Yeah?
Yes, we did.
But it was a beautiful, and kupuna would always say, "Aia no I ka manawa kupono," when the time is right. And the time is right for you folks to be here, you know, as we approach the 1-year anniversary of Lahaina. But mahalo for make the time to come and visit us. O'auno pomaikai kanea pio closure. Just going to give you a quick overview over the last year, what it was like for us. Pu'ukui watershed. Pu'ukui is the summit of Mauna Kahalavai, Maui Komohana, Maui E'eka, whichever you want to call it, right? This mountain, and the summit of Pu'ukui averaged nearly 400 inches of rain, second wettest spot on earth. But lately, that's not the case. Lately, we're down to half. We're barely hitting over 200 inches. Yeah? And so we wonder why the fires are happening, because it's dry. You look out today and you look at that beautiful mountain, it shouldn't look like that. It should be more cloudy, more rainy, and but we know it's the times. But we pull it that it's just a season. Yeah? So I'm going to just give you a walkthrough, not here to highlight all the things that Pu'ukui does, more to share with you what Pu'ukui has been involved in the last year. All our lives have changed. Hopefully I'm doing this right. Arrow up, down. Okay. So here you see Mauna Eke up at Pu'ukui, and everything that the eye can see in this photo is 100% native. Yeah? And that's our native sponge that captures the rain. You know, the Greeks would say it's a great day when a man plants a tree for the shade he'll never sit under. But I'm not Greek. Our kupuna say, hahai no kaua I ka ulula'au, that the rain follows the rainforest. You know, when you have the healthy rainforest, you attract the clouds, and you're able to capture that water. We know with the fire came all the water issues. But OHA was on it. We were 10 years trying to put water back in Malama Navai Eha. So you are ahead of the times in your forecast, in your due diligence, in being proactive. And I just wanted to say mahalo for that. You're not here today reacting to the fire. You was 10 years ahead, jumping and trying to be more proactive. And that's something for us as Hawaiians. We always kilo. We always looking, how are we going to take care of the generations that we never meet? Not just the mo'opuna we have, but the mo'opuna several generations down. But life as we know it changed. We instantly went into serving, and Pu'ukui watershed is made up of 8 of us, over 10,000 acres. But it became the hub. We set up distribution centers. We started to make food because the kupuna say, "Pomaikai, we don't eat granola bars. Tell FEMA, bring us some real food. We hungry." We know that. Mahalo for that wonderful stew, Auntie Hulu. To start meeting with good stew. Now, olu. So we started to put mea'ai Hawaii, and we started to can them. Yeah, kalupi, kalo, ulu. And that was a pu'olo in the middle. Yeah, when you show up to Anohana, you give them one pu'olo, the whole ohana go and eat. Yeah, enough. Not granola bars. We was passing out poi. You know, Chef Hui and Louis with UH, I think they were producing 10,000 meals. Aloha Aina Poi Company was sending poi over, and we were delivering pallets of poi every day. When you show up with poi to Hawaiians, that's not just mea'ai. They not all feel good. They know that baby going to sleep. They're going to eat that poi. They're going down. But they're happy. And those are, we talk about the happy foods. But for us as Hawaiians, that's in our DNA to have that. Granola bars, liquid IV is good, but that's not us, right? And then we set up, in conjunction with the county, West Maui Community Aid, different EOCs, go to Archie's house and pull up there, and to support all of those different areas, to stand up our leaders, Keaomoku, Kaipo, Makalapua, Archie, and create that sale plan. Where are we going, right? To hear those voices, and many of you were a part of that, even right up to the top of the food chain, right? That's not something that I pride myself with showing you this. I'm trying to share with you, I went deep into the mountains to get away from politics. I could stay home and talk to politicians, yeah? John, you know, yeah, we can stay home and do that. But our respect for and aloha for our people means we do whatever we can in whatever venue and whoever we need to talk to make it happen, because they need to hear that voice. But where is our keiki? Our keiki were displaced. So Pu'ukui Watershed became the hub for kaiapuni, right? When everybody was fighting over schools, where they're going to meet, how they're going to do, blah, blah, blah. Hey, these keiki need someplace today. And so our base yard became the place. Because as Hawaiians, we work from a place of yes. Pomaikai, yeah. Pomaikai, yeah. We never even hear what is it, yeah, hiki no, right? And those resiliency hubs, which are the fancy terms today, is really that tutu's house. You always welcome at your tutu's house. No matter how long you never visit, no matter how far you move away, you're always welcome back at your kupuna's house, as we talked this morning. Right? And so kaiapuni meetings, kaiapuni resources, because they were being lost while everybody was looking at other efforts, right? And the county was doing a great job, right? We got in there to deliver water and food, and deer meat and toilet paper was coming from Molokai faster than FEMA could arrive on island. That's not a point of finger to other agencies. That's not what I'm here for. That is the testament for Coconut Wireless and Hawaiian Ohana that feel within Na'ao. That's not those people. That's my family on the other side. When I put Archie's canoes, jet ski, and the Va'a, we knew they was going to shut the road. We coming in by water. Yeah? You're not coming by water? We coming by air. We hiking over the mountain. But we're not going to let those keiki and those kupuna go without because of rules. Luckily, our mayor stood into action, and everybody was cohesive and so forth. But no more school. Everybody's ready to Lahaina Luna, here, that, what the air quality. So we set up Pu'ukui University. And I want to say mahalo to Auntie Hulu and to those kupunu who stood up for Mauna Kea. When everybody went kukia I Mauna, we created that university up there, Pu'uhuluhulu University. The motto was there. Pu'uhulu University. Calling Kalekoa, calling Ekela, send Kainoa, boom, send myself in. And we created a whole lecture series on the beach for our Kayapuni kids. No rules, no SOPs, but of course we're all educators, so we know what the student-learner outcomes gotta be and quality education. But it was nice to teach our people in our own way. It wasn't a begging for a field trip. But this is what we needed to do to ho'ona'oau na keiki. And when you see the keiki and they're listening and they're engaging to the mo'olelo, and we had all kinds of topics. But it was good to engage with the haumana so that they could see the vaivai despite the building being lost. As Hawaiians, we never came from the building, but we sure like it. And we're glad that Louis is the chancellor of UHMC, because we Hawaiian, this is our home, and we have a rightful place in our education system. And yet, to stay on the beach and teach with high-caliber educators is good too. And so we started to go to Kali'u o Kapa'akai, right? After the initial, everybody was in DRCs and they in hotels. There's going to be long-term. How are we going to continue to feed these families? This is a long time with taro and pa'akai. As Ana Kalaeri would always share, you know, is that when you catch all that fish down Miluli, all that opelu, you're not going to eat all that opelu. So you salt all that fish. And times when you need, just like the salt salmon, you soak them, you dust them off, you rinse them out until it's palatable. Too salty, soak them, let it, change the water, salt. And so we contacted, and Malia Nobriger with Huyo Pa'akai Ohana Pepe sent, I don't know, 2 truckloads of bucket. And we'd go to each clan house, the Keahi house, the Casco house, the Williams house, and Akiona house, and they would disperse pa'akai for the ohana. Yeah. We also looked at the i'a, how we was keeping our people, that we don't change their diet, that we become accustomed to granola bars, right? That's not what we ono. We can handle it a while, but that's not us. And so we started to look into freeze drying. And so we started to can food, but we also went into kalo and started freeze drying things in mylar bags. Now that kalo pa is good for 20 years, right? Start long-term storage. How do we ramp up that? So we did all the R&D. Thanks to Makali'i Ohana on Hawaii, they came over, taught us guys, and stood us guys up in that. So it was really the Kaniak Pu. And Pu'ukukui was that vehicle because as Hawaiians, we have that network. We opened up about 11 lo'i in Honolulu. These lo'i hadn't been open in 100 years. Because it's good to call on ohana outside, but we're going to also have to feed our ohana a long time. Even after they get the FEMA house, even after they rebuild, they still going to need mia'ai. So opening new lo'i was something that's done in Honolulu. And then we went to seed gathering. Because in Lahaina, everybody wants to revegetate, restore, replant. They like re-something. Yeah? Everybody wants to re-something. Well, no matter how much money you got, you can't buy West Maui site-specific native seed from Amazon or Home Depot. You can't get it. You got to pick it. We knew this. So we picked about 2 million seeds. Here and this and that. So when the time comes for us to restore Lahaina, we're ready, active, ready to go. We developed the native hydromulch so that we could do large-scale landscape restoration. I pitched it in 2015, but it wasn't the right timing. Now, after fire, everybody like restore. And everybody's scrambling. Pomaikai, that bag seeds, where is it? Some people are still in how we're going to get it done because they don't know if we have the capacity. We do have the capacity. As Hawaiians, we are the capacity. There's always a way of us doing it. We just got to wala'au. And so we went into seed gathering and outreach, and it was for half of my crew that lost their homes too, was healing to put one foot in front of the other. As they were trying to help everybody in Lahaina, they too were struggling. So 4 out of the 8 come to work, but they no mohale. And so as they're planting, they realize, that's right, we're still taking care of our water. our mauna. We have hope for Lahaina. And so we started to do a lot of outreach and planting a lot of the trees so it's ready when landowners are ready that we can make that happen. With Living Pono Project and the Wailuku Resiliency Hub, a lot of our ohana were then relocated outside here or Ka'anapali. So our base yard cannot be the only hub or the DRC, and we know that resources, so that they can go in and pick up their weekly groceries, poi, cereal, spam. Spam, that's key, that's up there with poi, right? If we're being honest. The first thing off the shelf that's gone is poi, the next thing, spam, right? Nobody really take the oatmeal, right? Because that tells you who you're servicing, right? And so a place where they can go and, you see kupuna coming with their families every week and picking up mia'ai and trying to make ulu pies, or Makalea is making the ulu pie and, make different things so that they can incorporate that they never had. Most families cannot have poi every week. They just couldn't afford. And so that is something that we reinvigorate and change the palette back to what it used to be, like every trustee meeting, Auntie Hulu stew. Oh, that's the way to go. That's partly why I'm here. So mahalo, Auntie Hulu. Not for the stew. You notice I wasn't here with the dinner last night, but today, Auntie Hulu stew, I'm here, right? You call a Hawaiian stew opu, right? And that, aloha ka po kahale. So want to say mahalo nui to all of you folks for listening. This is what we've gone through at Pu'ukukui in this 1 year snapshot. Everything you saw is on top of the 10,000 acres we needed to take care of. Everything we just showed you is not our job. That's not what we get paid for. This is our commitment to our lahui, what we stand for. When you can call somebody and say, "Bro, I need your help," I'm there. Hey, take care of my keiki, right on. My father needs something, right? That we go beyond what our job description says, what our entity is. Now everybody wants to pivot. Everybody wants to be fluid, and all of these great terms. But Hawaiians, we are the most resilient people in the world because we act out of aloha. When kupuna said, mai, can you come? The answer is not, "I busy." No, I no can. It's, "Sure, I'll be there." So mahalo nui on behalf of Pu'ukukui. We need your guys' support because it's no longer just watershed. It's the Hawaiian entity on the Ka'anapali side, which we all look to as our water source, as well as that place that's going to take care of olelo, education, and all of those things. So mahalo nui. While I'm up here, so I don't need to sign in twice. I come as a community member of Maui and like to plead. We need an aloha aina position from OHA here on Maui. There are only a handful of us. And every time I look Hokuao, I look myself or a few other people, we need somebody who is on the ground, based in the work, knows the work, working with all of the other entities that has a focus on our people, but is not paid through somebody else. So just like how we had litigation from OHA, there really is huge because everybody else has a sense of influence if they have a boss someplace. And if we could have a position that has an aloha in a person to keep FEMA, EPA, all the other entities accountable, but also give them the right recommendations. They want the right recommendations. But Archie and Keomoku and Makalapo, they can only be so many places at one time. So I've been seeing that need from day one and be able to report right back to our trustees and be ground-based on Maui. Mahalo ia oko. Aloha.
Thank you, Pomaikai.
Any questions?
Trustees have any question of Pomaikai? Mahalo nui. Do we have anybody here from Corps of Engineer? If not, we'll move on to Claire Apana. Claire. What is that? Okay. Pull them down.
I didn't know I was going to be the only person talking. Okay. Good morning,
Good
everyone.
morning.
So I brought you some more information. You know, here's the MOA and how it has been used. I want to reiterate that it is the reason that the permit was given, the SMA permit, which allowed the hotel to be built. And so we have never received from OHA a legal determination of how the MOA can be used to help our iwi kupuna, to help the usage of water, to help the pollution that is going into the ocean at that hotel site. The loss of our fisheries at Kahamanini Bay is devastating. Not entirely gone, as we can see from COVID when it came back. But when the hotel is running, when the hotels are running, the salt ponds where people gathered salt were totally destroyed, and the fisheries are depleted, and the no more limu that we see, well, we know it's there because of COVID and what happened. And so I just impress upon you again, this MOA that was signed, this is what gave that hotel the right to disinter and bulldoze all of our iwi there. This is not just any place where you find iwi. There is no other place in South Maui that has the concentrations of iwi there. In the 80s, the
Claire.
70s, yes?
We got some information from our office overnight, and I would like to call on our administration to kind of report on some of the things that may not be applicable to some of the information that you're thinking happened. So if you can hear them out, then you can continue and ask us more questions,
Okay.
if you please. Kehau? We did hear your testimony last night, and Kehau, who is our COO, followed up with Kamakana. You can stay up here. Yeah, right there. Claire, stay over here.
Come back.
She gonna come.
So I actually missed part of her testimony last night because I was outside. However, we'll look more into the MOA and Claire's claims about how it
Claire, you
helps
need to
support
hear this, Claire.
construction. How it helped to support construction. I need to do a little bit more research about that. we are actually looking into the MOA itself. It may not be valid anymore because ownership of the hotel had changed. That's one thing. And two, because of the new, I guess, burial laws that came out in 1990. So it may not be a valid MOA anymore. We'll have to follow up and look into that. There are some differences regarding OHA's, I guess, action around this. We are more compliance monitoring. We want to make sure that the developers, right, are following legal law versus taking a position of stopping development. So I guess what I'm, a couple of things. One, getting clear on what your ask or your request is before OHA, but also sharing some updates regarding, one, looking into the MOA, how it has done what you have claimed it has, but two, its validity at this point in time, because it may no longer be valid. And what was the third thing? I think that was it for now.
Kihao. And then
Yes.
we will also get Annake's information.
Yeah.
And we will follow up with her directly.
Yeah, well, I know you already know Kamakana folks and Kai Markel guys who have been working on this for a long time also, but we'll reconnect with you to better understand your requests at this point in time and see how we can work together to address it. Hikino? Yeah? Okay.
So, you want me to ask you questions? Or, when will we get the answer about the MOA? By the end of this week? Okay, so I'm just hoping that you realize that the permits to build the hotel hinge upon this MOA. I don't believe it can go away without an actual legal action happening. So I just brought you, I've said it so many times to you that they're going to be digging into the burial ground. So I just wanted to bring you a picture that shows how much ground disturbance is actually planned. And when they say ground disturbance, they say like maybe we're going to put something 4 feet deep. But what happens is when they actually dig for the 4 feet, it's more like 8 feet or 10 feet. And I've seen this over and over again where they say, oh, this is a 4-foot pipe. We're just going to put it down 4 feet in the ground. And then the trench is like, I can stand in the trench and it's as wide as a road because to get the materials in. I'll just tell you a story of, I don't know if you've been to the Grand Wailea, but where the Humu Humu is, that was, and the Haleakala wing where they usually have conventions, that was a ridge that was like 500 feet long, and that's what they took down to start building the hotel. And in that ridge, they found burials, but not just any kind of burials. Those were burials that were wrapped, some of them in black kapa. And I don't know, but I've heard that when they're wrapped in black kapa, they are really of a higher status person. And one particular place, the burials were 8 layers deep. And so there were, someone bothered to put the burials very deep into the ground and then covered with pohaku and then covered with another layer and then another layer. it was so well buried that they had really a difficult time getting the burials out. And these first burials, many of them were intact. So we see the drawings of what was unearthed, and they are intact burials. The first two burials that the MOA had, the kupuna had glass beads, which was not to say that that was from modern times, but glass beads that were from an older time, but of high status people. And they had their own ahus. This is not just any place. And then the workmen, they described when they built the hotel that there, as they dug into the mountain, because it's on a steep hill, that they found burials. They were like it was described as a pyramid of burials. And that is what the hotel was put on, according to some workmen. I spoke to the man who did the water line. And at the water line, which is pretty much the area where the luau ground is, and that end of the property, they found burials of children, many children. These burials are not recorded. They did not record all the children that they unearthed there. But the people who did the work will tell you that one particular person wanted to take care of the burials. So this workman would run to get the burials and put them into the cardboard boxes that they then shipped off the property with trucks. Some of the workmen really wanted to do something to protect the burials, and they took some of the children's bones and made arrangements to put them into Keavalai Cemetery. I think people did what they could, and I guess the sentiment was the work has to go on. But in this day, I don't think the work has to go on. We don't need to go through all of our burials again. And they admitted that they put burials in the fill, and they put the fill all over the property. And as they do projects, burials get found. So I guess she's going to electronically send this to you. This is just a picture of, with circled is where new digging will be. Not just buildings that will be refurbished or that will be changed, but this is new construction. They're going to be digging the ground again. There are 7 circles, and you can see from the size of the circle, what is already there is the shape of buildings that are there. One of these buildings goes right up to the burial preserve that the MOA called for. It will go right up to it. They actually had to redesign it because they originally drew their building into the burial preserve. And when we did our maps and found that out, then they cut their building down a few feet, like 5 feet, because it was in the burial preserve. But that is how close the proposed buildings are. It is up to us to say something. And if no one says anything, then they will keep building on our kupuna. Last year, 2 days ago, you saw the strike at the Grand Wailea from the workers. They made record profits last year, and they terminated people. Some of the workers are saying that, wow, there's so much work to do, yet they made record profits. So there is not a sense that this is for the people of Maui. This is not, there's not a sense that it is for anything but profit. And I don't think that we should sacrifice our kupuna anymore in this place. I thank you for looking into this MOA, and I think that without the MOA, you could still advocate as a body to stop any construction plans on known burial sites. This is a known burial site. How can they be having building plans? How is that possible? Are we such
Claire, can we ask
failed
you?
people that we cannot say something? Thank you.
Claire?
So,
Claire,
yes,
over here.
yes.
Can you please talk with our COO and see how we can advocate the strongest for you folks' position?
Yes, I
And
would.
we appreciate the description, but it's kind of hard to visualize what you're talking about without those maps in front of us. And we don't have enough maps to go around. But Kehau would be happy to hear you and see how we can help you, because this is the
Thank
second
you.
time you've come in front of us, but I don't know that you've been in communication with our staff who does the work for us. So please share with her so she can move forward with you,
Thank you.
okay?
So, Kay, how do I meet you? You'll talk to me? Okay.
Claire,
Thank you very much.
Trustee Ahuna want to say something?
Yes.
So I just wanted to tell you, thank you for sharing about the EV in the Grand Wailea area. I too am very hurt to understand how they were treating the EV. I think, but what I think in 2019 when we wrote that MOA, it was similar to what the mayor talked about. There was only one permit given so far for the rebuilding, and it's because of the SMA permit. So I think in part of the process, it was important for that MOA to make sure we had that SMA attached to it, because that's how the due diligence is that's how we can be preventative instead of intervening later after the fact. So I'm looking at this MOA was to try and help out the process and assuring OA was asserting itself to assure that these burials were treated properly and making sure that this SMA was actually being conducted. And I believe back in the day they weren't using that SMA process, and I'm hoping, and with my understanding, that this is the reason why we wrote that MOA in 2019. So I'm going to have my staff look into it a little bit more. I asked them to look into it last night, and they gave me all this information. So, but I just wanted to thank you, because the EV is something that we want to make sure it's done properly, and we want to make sure a lot of it too, I think with the Grand Wailea has to do with the ownership of the land. I don't know if it's on private property, so it has different types of how OHA can assert itself. I don't think we can get in there. All we can do is ask maybe people to not stay at the Grand Wailea, But what we wanted to do is just make sure the SMA process was put into play. That's what my understanding is.
Thank you. That is the one that OHA has this very strong voice in, but there are many other places to advocate for our iwi kupuna here too, and our resources. Thank you so much for looking into this.
Did you say that there was going to be a hearing in the near future?
The Planning Commission is bringing it back for a vote on the 27th of August. And
this is to approve what?
to approve the expansion plans.
Well, like Trustee Ahuna said, that has to go through SMA permit because it's the shoreline.
Yes,
Yeah.
it
Did
is for a SMA permit.
Oh, it is for an SMA permit. Okay, that's when restrictions can be put into the conditions of the approval. So
Yes.
I think that you should speak with Kehau and follow up how OHA can help before the 27th so that we have a testimony for the Planning Commission.
Thank you. I don't believe that they ever sent OHA an official document to ask for your opinion of this permit.
Ah,
So if they did, I believe you can update your comments too. But I don't believe that they did. That was one of our complaints.
So please talk to Kehau so that we can get this story together. We go home today and we
Yeah.
can start working on it because the 27th is only 3 weeks away.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Thank you so very much.
mahalo, Claire.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Mahalo.
Thank you. Is Kahulaki here?
Hello, kakayaka. I'm gonna make this real quick. I got another service to do, but wanted to share that before Tutu Vahini passed away, she had the original scroll of our genealogy of all the royal lineage of Kamehameha 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Kalakaua. And then when we saw it, the thing was so frail that me, cousin Willie K, and his brothers Wilmont Cowie, we flew the original to Bishop Museum to preserve them. But when I came home for cousin's funeral, I asked the oldest son, what happened to the royal lineage of genealogy Tutu gave to Mom? He said, Uncle, Ma had so much Hawaiian junks, we just threw them all away. I said, Alex, slap your head. After all the nakopuna, and write down the lineage of our descendants that we belong to be able to carry on the legacy of our ali'is. But thank God that he still had it hid in the closet. And when he gave it to me, we flew it there to preserve, but we made copies and then we put the pictures of all of our ali'is on it to remind us, listen, the descendants of those that were chosen by Keakua to have us know the love that God had to spread in the aloha. Not even Kamehameha schools had it, not even the Royal Order of Kamehameha had it. Now, even cousin Danny Estacado from Vegas said, Kahu, can I have a copy? Or they get more Hawaiians there, that's why they call it the Ninth Island. I said, well, we ought to share that we're still here. But, Brother Kyoki Suda, you got your copy. Okay, since you're my brother with more hair that you don't have it on, that's yours. God bless you guys. Away ho. Take care, my brother.
Thank you, Lucky. I want to mahalo the trustees for traveling to Maui and spending time with us. Hello. I want to mahalo Louis and the University of Maui and Kathy for always sharing aloha with us and allowing us to use these beautiful facilities. And mahalo to all of our Maui beneficiaries last night and this morning for coming out to our meeting and sharing your mana'o with us. Are there any other announcements by trustees, maybe? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I moved it.
It's been moved and seconded. Board Secretary, roll call.
Trustee Ahuna.
Aye.
Trustee Akaka. Trustee Akina.
Aye.
Trustee Alapa.
Yes.
Trustee Galuteria.
Aye.
Trustee Souza.
Aye.
Trustee Trask is excused. Trustee Waihe'e.
Yes.
Chair Hulu Lindsay.
Yes.
You have 8 yes votes. We are adjourned.
Mahalo.